So we were discussing this question. And I hope till here each and everything is clear to all of you. If still any doubt is there, we have calculated the number of shares applied, which was 500. Then excess number of shares is 100, and that's why his excess will be 5,000, which we will be using on allotment. Now allotment due on 400 shares, because we have allotted to him only 400 shares at the rate of rupees 35 per share, will be how much? 30 into 400, 12,000 and 2,000, 14,000. And the excess which we have received from him is 5,000. So not paid by him is 9,000. So he has not paid us 9,000 out of 14,000. This is remaining unpaid amount. Now, how much amount I have received on allotment then? Total amount due on allotment is how much? 3,50,000 is the total amount due on allotment. 3,50,000. And out of this 3,50,000, I have received 1,25,000 in advance. 1,25,000 in excess I have received. So that's why now I have to receive 2,25,000. This much we have done in table also. And out of this 2,25,000, I have not received 9,000. That's why how much amount I will be receiving? Yes, 2,16,000 I will be receiving now. This we can done here also. Like 14,000 will be due from him now. Out of this 14,000, we had excess of 5,000 from him. So 9,000 we have not received from him. And if I will subtract that, then I will be receiving 2,16,000 now. So table will also help you in making these calculations, and same calculations you have to present in working notes also. But if you are left, if you are having very less time, then you can complete your question with the help of fast calculations in this table. Okay, now coming to the next portion, amount received on first call. So per share due amount is how much? 25 rupees. So if I want to calculate the amount due, first I will multiply this by 25 rupees. So the total amount due will be 2,50,000. Same way, I can multiply this by also 25. Same amount will come here also, 2,50,000. And from this shareholder, how much amount will be due? 10,000 will be due. This 10,000 is already included in 2,50,000. That's why it needs not to be added. Now he has not paid us first call money also. Question is saying that he has failed to pay amount due on allotment and call money. So because he is not paying first call money and all the excess which was there on application, that was utilized for allotment. So we don't have any excess for calls now. So whatever amount due is there on first call, the same amount I will not be receiving from him. So this is unreceived amount on first call. The total amount received will be 2,50,000. Total of this column will also be 2,50,000. And because one shareholder has not paid us 10,000, so that's why final amount which I will be receiving for first call will be 2,40,000. Yes, please. Any confusion to anyone in this question till here? Okay. So now I can write this amount 2,16,000 it was. It was 2,50,000 to equity share capital account. Now we will do bank entry for first call. Bank account debit. And the amount received is 2,40,000. 2,40,000 to equity share first call account. Because it is the last call, so we can also mention it first and final call. We should mention it first and final call. Okay. Now we have to forfeit these shares. So question is saying the company forfeited its shares, so we have to forfeit the shares now. Now see the entry for forfeiture. Equity share capital account debit. Amounts we will do later. Now because shares were issued at premium, so that's why I have to define whether I have received the premium or not. So now on 400 shares, I am saying that I have not received the premium. And the premium per share was rupees 10 per share. So how much premium I have not received? Yes, very good. So I have not received rupees 4,000 securities premium. So I have to debit that securities premium reserve account. Securities premium reserve account debit to equity share allotment account. He has not paid that money. Then he has not paid us final call to equity share first and final call account. And whatever money he has paid to us, that will be written in equity to share forfeiture account. To share forfeiture account. Now the called up capital I want to calculate. So I will get each and every amount from my table. See, from him, application money due was at the rate of rupees 50 per share. So the due amount was 20,000. Then allotment due was 14,000, but out of that capital part will be how much? 10,000. And then first call due amount was also 10,000. Always keep separate due amount so that you will be able to identify how much capital was called up. So this amount was called up: 20,000, 10,000, 30,000, 10,000, 40,000. All the amounts from him are due now. So 40,000 is totally due because the share was fully called up, and we can cross check it also. 400 multiplied by 100. Full amount was called up, so it should be 40,000. Yes, please. This point is logically clear. Now 4,000 was premium over here. So 4,000 premium I have not received. That's why in premium I will be writing 4,000. Each and every amount should be clear logically from the table itself. Each and every amount you will get here. Now he has not paid us 9,000 on allotment. That I know from the table itself. So he has not paid me 9,000 on allotment. I have to put that amount in bracket so that it will be clearly understandable that this amount has not been paid. That's why I am deducting it. And this amount is also not paid by him. 10,000 on first call. So 10,000 of first call I will be writing here, because this entry will become confusing as you will proceed into this topic. This topic will become confusing. So that's why I am doing it in slow speed, and I am telling you each and every one. But he has paid me one-time payment on application, and on application actually he has paid me 50 rupees per share on 500 shares. So that's why I have received from him 25,000 one-time payment I have received from him. So in this manner, the picture will be clear to you in this table, what he has paid us and what he has not paid us. Each and everything will be clear if you will write it properly. So 25,000 he has paid you. So in share forfeiture account, 25,000 will be written. And the most important point is that please speak at the time of when you are writing 25,000. 25,000 not include any amount of securities premium. It is very, very important point. Please try to identify whether some premium has been included in this 25,000 or not. If some amount of securities premium is also included, then we have to deduct. Like suppose I give you an example, application money is 50, and suppose Here 5 rupees is premium per share. 5 rupees is premium per share. So that means he has also paid some amount of premium, and that premium will be calculated with the help of 400 shares, not with the help of 500 shares. So this is second point which you have to remember. If somehow some premium is included in application, then first identify per share premium, how much premium per share is included in application money. That will be multiplied by the number of shares allotted. That will give you the how much premium for a number of shares allotted has been included in this application money. That has to be deducted from the total received amount. This is 25,000. But because in this question we are not receiving any premium on application, that's why it is not including any premium money. So in share forfeiture, we will never include any premium received. Even I am receiving on allotment some part of premium also, that will also be deducted. That needs to be deducted. So it should be purely part of capital amount. This logically you have to remember and try to check it in every question when you are doing forfeiture in the case of premium. Okay. So this entry is clear. Now you can check your totals. The total should be 44,000, 25 plus 10, 35 plus 9, 44. So I have not written any amount by subtraction method. Each and every amount I have written from the table with the logic. And it will be very important step when you will go towards the reissue and capital reserve also. So that's why I will request that please practice them thoroughly. But he will give money on 500 shares if including premium. So why premium will be deducted from 400 shares? Because whatever he has given, that is totally amount received. But out of that total amount, how much amount I am treating as premium, that depends on the number of shares allotted. That doesn't depend on the number of shares applied. Because ultimately I have adjusted that excess amount on allotment also. And again, I am adjusting that excess in part of capital only on allotment, not on premium. There I am treating it that I have not received the premium. So ultimately, whatever excess will remain, that will be going towards capital adjustment only, not towards the adjustment for premium. That's why. So these are the two very important points that you have to remember. In the further questions, it will be coming. In this question, it is not there. Okay. Now, second entry we have to do for reissue. So for reissue, just read the line first. Subsequently reissued at rupees 105 per share. This is bank amount or capital amount? Yes, very good. It is bank amount, but the question has not told us the paid up capital amount. How much capital paid up is to be assumed? Then how much we will assume? 100, because the share was fully called up. So it is issued at premium or at discount or at par. We are issuing shares at premium. So my bank entry will be bank account debit. Number of shares were 40,000 and I am receiving 105 per share. So 400 multiplied by 105, it will be 42,000. Then bank account debit 42,000. To security, to equity share capital account. Then to securities premium reserve account. So capital will be 40,000. And securities premium reserve will be 2,000. Now I will calculate the capital reserve also. Share forfeiture account debit to capital reserve account. Now because we have issued all the forfeited shares, so the formula I will be using again proportionate one. So proportionate of amount forfeiture, 25,000 amount was there. So 25,000, number of shares reissued is 400 and number of shares forfeited is 400. So that's why it will be 25,000. Loss on reissue is nil. Even you are issuing at profit, so capital reserve will be 25,000. So I will write in capital reserve 25,000. Yes, please. Any query? So you can see we are preparing proper working notes also. This is not relevant for this question, so I will delete it. Proper steps, proper method, proper logics for each and every step, proper presentation, neatness and cleanliness, proper logics, recitation of these logics. Only then you will be able to gain the confidence in such questions. And when you will be doing regular practice, only then you will be getting speed in your exam. This question has to be completed in 15 minutes in exams. And if you are completing it in 12 minutes at home, only then you will be able to complete it in 15 minutes in exams. Use your reading time properly, watch your speed right now. Whatever you are reading in the question in the reading time, it should be in your mind that this information was there. We should not waste our time in reading when we are attempting the question paper. So each and every important information should be in your mind. You have to practice these all things for your board exams. So if 5 was premium, so share forfeiture amount will be 500 into 50. Yes, very good. Minus 405. Yes, very good. If the premium we are receiving on application, then first we will calculate 25,000. Simple. And out of this 25,000, I will subtract 400 into 5. The premium which I have received on application. So that will be subtracted, and that way my forfeiture amount will become then 23,000. And my advice is that don't move directly to the unsolved questions for any topic. First cover up all the illustrations and then move to the unsolved questions. Only then it can give you benefit. Otherwise, you will come with a lot of doubts to me, and whatever you will be able to learn, that result will not come there. So first attempt the illustrations and then towards go to the unsolved questions.